Warning, today's video contains a lot of jump cuts because I didn't film very much B-roll today because I was too busy being the most frightened and stressed out I've ever been in my life. After everyone left me in Filiberto at 3:30, I went to bed and woke back up again at about 7, had breakfast, said goodbye to Filiberto, left and went to the train station to catch a train which I thought was about 8. Turns out the one to the train station in Milan that I thought I was supposed to take was at 9, so I waited there for like an hour, and I rode that train. I got to Milano Centrale. I was gonna go see the mall and the Last Supper if I had time, but I decided I should probably buy my ticket first, just to make sure. So I waited an hour in line to do that, and by the time I got up to the guy, he was like, "That train you're talking about doesn't exist. There was an overnight train to Paris." And I was like, no, I need this specific one because people are picking me up. People are expecting me. You don't understand. So he told me how to get to Milano Garibaldi, which is the other train station, which he said is where that train was going out of. Keep in mind, this guy didn't speak English, so I was speaking Spanish and a little Italian to him, trying to convey what was going on. So I took the metro to Garibaldi, where a crazy guy helped me buy my metro ticket, and the entire time he's like hovering around me trying to help me, I'm just like, this dude's gonna rob me. I just, for sure, thought he was gonna rob me, and he didn't. And I was just like, who is this crazy guy that just hangs out at the ticket thing and helps people buy their tickets? It was a very weird experience. So I took my giant suitcase and my backpack and everything to Milano Garibaldi. I got in line to buy that ticket, and they were like, "Oh no, you can't buy this ticket because there's a strike, a railway strike in Paris," which I had been warned about from one of my relatives, but I guess I just thought, well, it's online right here that says it's running. Why would they put it on there if it's not actually running? So I was stranded in Milan for a couple hours, looking for Wi-Fi that didn't require a cell phone to get the password for, which I failed at. Ultimately, I decided I need to find a hotel, because it's the only place that I'm going to be able to get Wi-Fi that I can contact people with. And if worse comes to worse, I can also just stay the night there if I need to, because I was afraid at this point that I wasn't going to be able to get to Paris until the next day. So I went outside, got a taxi. Again, none of these people speak English, which I found strange just because I thought that Milan would be a bigger touristy place, but maybe it was because I was at a different train station and not Centrale, so I don't know. So I'm like trying to communicate with these wonderful taxi drivers who were like some of the most helpful people. There were like 3 of them all like helping me figure out where to go. And eventually this one lady took me there. It cost me like €5, but she took me to a hotel. I walked in, I was like, "Do you have any vacancies?" The guy's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, can I pay for Wi-Fi?" He goes, "I'll give you free Wi-Fi. And you can stay here for as long as you need. And do what you need to do." He let me use the bathroom, fill my water bottle. So I bought some Skype credit because I couldn't figure out how else I was going to call Guy and let him know that I wouldn't be here until who knows when. So I called Guy, let him know what was going on. He said, "Okay, just call me and whenever you know." So that worked out really well. And so what the people at the train station had told me was that I was probably going to have to take a bus. So I just had the hotel guy call me a taxi and had that guy take me to the bus station because I didn't want to mess with the metro again. My giant suitcase was getting cumbersome and heavy, and honestly I was just willing to pay any amount of money to just get to the dang bus station. So I got there at about 2:30 almost exactly, get up to the counter, the lady says, "Yeah, there's a bus to Paris at 3:30, or there's one tonight." I said, 3:30, please. I want to get out of this city. Turns out the bus ride was 14 hours, but the bus had free Wi-Fi. So I got on Facebook and messaged Beatrice, Guy's niece, that what I was doing, and she said, "What time will you be in Paris and where?" I said 5:30 a.m. at the Bercy bus station. She said, "Alright, I'll tell Guy to be there." And I was like, perfetto. So that was one of the longest bus rides in history. I didn't get sick on this one though. the mountains that I saw, I don't know what they were, but like the landscapes that I saw on the way to Paris before the sunset were extraordinary. Um, and you would see all these little houses in the hillside on the countryside, and I'm just like, people live here. Do they realize what they're taking for granted? They probably don't, and that's fine, because I take things for granted as well, so I understand, but it was just absolutely breathtaking. I slept for a few hours, hit or miss, and, well, we finally got to Paris, but that's for the next video.